Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where we're going to be playing a case of fraud today. I think we're getting close, quote unquote, close to solving things. We got the org chart all done, but we've got to kind of work through everyone's movements on the fateful day and try and work out who is responsible for the murder. Now in this extras list, at the end of the last episode, we looked through the autopsy report, time of death. We're now going to look at the toxicology reports and the statements. Basically, we need to work out everyone's movements. We kind of know stuff was happening at around the time of the murder. We know that people like Rebecca, Ben, predominantly them, to be honest, were kind of letting themselves in and out of the side alley at that time. Somebody overrode the sensors. Now, I guess interestingly, Rebecca is the CTO, so, someone who might be au fait with altering stuff like that. But in any case, she did claim that her access card and medicine had been stolen from her bag, but that could easily be something to throw us off the scent, couldn't it? So, yeah, it was her prescription that was found in the victim's blood. So let's look over quickly. We've got to identify these. So we've got some fairly poor CCTV images, but we're trying to work out who this person is in these photos. Let's just see what it says. So yeah, so we got the times. First two detects motion. Usually you snap them near the Zulingo window or door. I only have it turned on after dark and at the weekend. It only takes one snapshot per motion trigger because my hard drive was filling up too quickly. Okay. And then we got the second lot. So at 16:58, we've got someone with a dog. Now I know that Christine herself came in at around that time. So I think let's just quickly check when her card was used. But I think it's going to be at around that time. Christine, yeah. So I think on here, I think the one who was here at this time with the dog, I think was Christine and Piper, a little dog Piper. That's them. That's kind of the easy one, though, to be fair. But we can have a look at the act. So the other one was 1644. That would have been Rebecca. And then 1649 would have been Ben. Let's have a quick look at those photos then again. Because it looks like the same person, doesn't it? I mean, that could easily be. And these look like the same person as well. So we got 9:30 and 1 o'clock in the morning. Interesting. So I don't know who those are then. So we had someone kind of peering in the window. Now these could just be irrelevant, couldn't they? But I think those are both Ben. It doesn't seem to be Rebecca. I mean, she was claiming that her card had been stolen, and I think it's reasonable to say that perhaps that is the case. Because if they were going to hotels and stuff, he easily could have lifted that stuff out of her bag. So whenever we see like a Rebecca and a Ben together, I think he's using both cards. I mean, can you have like just unknown person here, or does it definitely have to? It has to be someone, does it? Well, I think it's Ben twice. And I don't know about these ones. I mean, it looks like it could be Rebecca. Her like clock thing, what was that saying? Yeah, I mean, yeah, so it has her at home from 6 o'clock onwards, so it wasn't her. So look at this. So we've got to work out, someone was stealing from the company, it does seem like. So $3 million. So this is, yes, this is at 6:07. The 30-minute window for cancellation is someone was there at about 5:30, so it's reasonable to assume that this person, it's unlikely to have been Christine, I think. It's the one who's got the missing money. I think it's got to be Ben. But let's go through all this other stuff. So this is toxicology report. Upon presentation, the patient was Oh, this is Ben. This is the early hours of the morning on the 13th of January. Upon presentation, the patient was disoriented with a complaint of severe grogginess and headache following a suspected altercation. Visible signs of moderate head trauma, including a deep laceration near the temple, were found upon physical examination. The patient claims to have been drugged in a break-in and subsequently incapacitated for an extended period. Oh. Toxicology screening was requested to identify possible substances in his system, so he had the zoipidem as well. Nothing else. Patient presents a head injury and post-concussive symptoms, consistent with being attacked. Recommended that he is monitored. Seems like he was drugged. So this is Piper. This is them kind of... This is them interviewing him after the thing. He was trapped behind a door and worried. Sounds like Christine and an unknown human were fighting. Went for a walk, saw some cows. Now, Sally Blake is a civil engineer. So she's the one we had an email from before. So Rebecca and I were at high school together and we've kept in touch. She turned up at my house just after 5 p.m. yesterday, Sunday. How does that tie in with her movements? Maybe she's somewhere on this route. Oh, this place. Yeah, that seems right. So she was there for about an hour and a half, and Sally backs that up. She had received an email purportedly from me asking to meet her for a run at 4:45 by the pet shop. I didn't send the email, and it was not from an address I have ever used. The email was hilariously unlike my writing, with short, abrupt sentences and double spaces after the periods. However, the email did include the actual name of my dog, which was extremely creepy. Rebecca and I were intrigued by it all, so she stayed and had a drink, while we tried sleuthing where the email might have originated. All we could figure out for sure was that it was sent by someone who knows personal information about both of us. We figured it was probably some kind of stalker, so Rebecca called the non-emergency police line to get it on record. I guess you'll be able to look that up. Rebecca left my house at around 6:30 as her husband and daughter were due home. Okay. So, what I'm thinking is there was another one of these sort of dog like interview pages. Was that Sally's dog? No. In a word, no. Let's talk this through again. They were at high school together. Could it be someone who could have read her emails? Who were Bex's emails? Sally Blake. Yeah, so she's got her dog's name here, Drover, right? Oh, this is the mystery email. I lost my phone and forgot my email login for my laptop, so I had to dredge up this old email account from back in the day. Embarrassing. Lucky your work email's so easy to remember. I know you go running on Sunday afternoons. I wonder if I could meet you and come too. I need to get fit. Drover needs a good run. I need to get Drover a new collar. I have an awful suspicion now. Now I'm thinking... it's Rebecca's husband. I think he stumbled across Ben and Christine while he was... So he wanted to get Rebecca out of the house, which kind of covered his tracks for going off and doing this stuff, right? So he kind of went into the office to steal money from them, I guess. Kind of want to look at the divorce thing he sent. This was the following morning at 9 o'clock he sent this. Just trying to see if he does the double spaces at the end of a sentence. No, it's Ben. Look at the spacing. Ben is the one who sent the email. Yeah, that's him, 100%. Okay, so Ben sent this weird email. Just take Bill off this for now. To meet her for a run by the pet shop. Was she there at that time again? Yeah, she was. She was there for about 15 minutes. Maybe that is Rebecca. Okay, so she was there. Let's keep reading the statements. So that's Sally's statement. Fair enough. And we got Rebecca's. On Friday evening, I went out for drinks with a friend. When I got home to get my new sleeping meds from my bag, but it wasn't there. My access card for the office was missing too, so I must have dropped stuff out of my bag at some point while I was dancing, so this is probably when she was with Ben in a hotel. I emailed Holly my admin to ask her to cancel the card on Monday and sort a new one. The other police guy said Ben thought I was coming to a meeting on Sunday evening at the office, but I didn't know anything about that. I always go running on Sundays because I'm training for a half marathon. I got an email on Friday from my friend Sally asking us to join my run, so I went to the pet shop to meet her like we arranged. However, she didn't turn up, so after about 15 minutes I ran to her house, which is nearby. Okay, that all tracks. I figured I would meet her on the way if she was running late. I didn't call her because her email said she lost her phone. She was at home, and she said she never sent that email. She hadn't lost her phone, and she couldn't run anyway because she'd sprained her foot. I stayed and had a few wines with her while we made up some crazy stories about the mystery email, then I ran home at 6:30. My husband and daughter got home from the zoo at about 6:45 with some takeaways, then we watched a movie together as a family. Bill and I went to bed around 11. When I got to work this morning at 8:45, the police said my medication was sitting on my desk in the office. But I know I didn't leave it there. I'm a neat freak, and I always fully clear my desk before the weekend. Okay, well, I think she's telling the truth. I think she is innocent of the murder. But I think her... Now, Ben's is going to be interesting. Christine asked me on Friday if I could come to a meeting about the budget at 5 p.m. on Sunday. Sus. But okay. Omar was in Melbourne, but I thought Rebecca was going to be there. I was on coffee duty, so I got coffees... Okay, so this is where the coffee order comes in. So I got coffees for us three on the way at Common Grounds on the corner. I got to the office at about 4:50. I put the coffees in the kitchen, then started going through my email. Christine arrived just before 5 p.m. with her dog. We had a lot to get through, so we started without Rebecca. I remembered about the coffees and went to get them. After about half an hour, I was feeling strange, and it was hard to concentrate. I tried to hide it because Christine gets quite annoyed with excuses. It all gets a bit blurry after that. I saw someone with a balaclava. I think they hit me over the head with something. I have a bad cut by my temple. I saw some strands of long hair and the person was quite short. The next thing I knew, I woke up in the dark near the front door feeling groggy. I felt very confused at that point, but I managed to make my way to the 24-hour medical clinic down the road. They did a blood test. I took a taxi home as I was starting to feel more normal. It was maybe 5 a.m. by this point. My alarm woke me at 7 and I got ready and came to work as usual. There is budget work that needs to be done and I could not take the day off. It was total chaos at the office with blah 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 blah. So in terms of timing, he says he was in the office, got attacked and went to the hospital. And got home by 5. Now, if we look at the access codes. His card was used at nearly 2 o'clock in the morning on the night of the murder. About 6 hours after the murder took place. Okay, let's read more statements. So now we've got Coralie. I got to work about 10 to 8 this morning, and when I went inside, the lights didn't turn on. There wasn't even the usual low lighting. I walked around waving my arms to no avail. I saw there were some boxes and books and stuff kind of shoved off the desks, so I wondered if there had been a break-in or something. But before I could investigate, I heard a bark that sounded like it was from behind the boardroom door, which was closed. I first thought someone was in there doing something with Zoo Lingo audio data. When I knocked, the barking went crazy, so I went in and Christine's dog Piper raced out. She ran over to the other side of the room and started howling. I followed her over and saw Christine slumped on the floor on her side, behind the kitchen near Rebecca and Ben's desks. Okay. I tried to wake Christine and checked her pulse, but she was horribly cold. I called the ambulance and they talked me through moving her onto her back and doing chest compressions, and then the medics arrived pretty soon after. Hugh turned up at some point just after the medics. After that, I was put in charge of letting emergency services people into the office using my swipe card. So that's why she's got so many entries on the access log, because she's swiping paramedics and so on in and out, and stopping any other employees from coming inside. I heard later there was a lot of blood on the floor from a head injury, but I guess it was too dark for me to see at that time. I was also pretty freaked out because I kind of knew she was dead as much as I hoped I was wrong. Well, that kind of explains that. Where did Ben say he woke up? He didn't say anything about Christine after being attacked. And then this is Christine's husband. Chris was meeting me and the kids at my daughter's music recital, but she never showed. I assumed she was caught up in last-minute work, so I wasn't too worried at that point. But usually she would tell me if she was going to be late. After the recital, I called her a few times and it rang until going to voicemail. When we got home, our dog Piper wasn't there. I left the kids at home and got to Chris's office about 9:30. Now, what does that look like on the log? Nothing. Not on the logs. How does he explain that? But it was totally dark inside. Well, that's probably him. That's going to be him looking in the windows, isn't it? And seeing that it's dark. So I think that one is Richard Ball. But it was totally dark inside. I called the police and they wouldn't do anything because it was only a few hours and the dog was being missing made it seem like she got off somewhere. But I know Chris and she wouldn't do that without telling me or the kids. So I phoned my old friend from uni, Phoebe Debenham, who runs a private investigation agency. She came and took lots of papers from Chris's home office to get a head start on figuring out what might have happened. We couldn't get into the computer as it needed Chris's fingerprint. I went for another drive around, checking out the farm park where she often walks Piper and all the streets near home. I also called everyone I could think of, but I don't have any contacts for her colleagues, which seems foolish now. I finally got to bed about 3 a.m. and slept until I was woken by a phone call with the awful news. Coralie, who found her, was really kind. I somehow managed to tell the kids and we all just sat in the kitchen and cried until the officers came to interview us. I'm taking Piper to do a zoo lingo session after this in case she can tell us anything. Right, now here comes the toxicology analysis. Okay, so this is the coffee they found in the kitchen. So flat white and soy latte both had the zolpidem in. Caffeine concentrations are consistent with average caffeinated espresso. Okay, so everything's normal except for the zolpidem in the flat white and the soy latte. So where do we work? Where did it say about people's coffee orders? I'm going to have to find the list. Might be in the kitchen, actually. Okay, so Coralie's is a long black. I remember having to come back and check that. Martin's a hot chocolate, small cappuccino with cinnamon, oat, flat white. So none of those are the right ones. Well, flat white and a soy latte. Paul was a flat white. Paul Verdi, product owner. Paul, oat flat white, please. Got any other coffee orders? Rebecca has espresso. Okay, so that was on the order, but didn't have the drugs in. Does it say here about her coffee order? Does it say meet at office? Look through all this stuff. I want her normal coffee order. This was at her home. There's anything there. It was linked to Kathy. I'm pretty sure Ben is the one that sent this email, which is pretty suspicious. Ben Mansell. He's trying to get money. He's having money troubles, really. 10th of January. It's around the time she lost it, and the time she was meeting Ben. She calls Ben scary. Not seeing anything like Christine's coffee order. Yeah, this is key again. Maybe the main thing is that we know Rebecca does order espresso, which Ben presumably would have known. Yeah, that J-Chan. Yeah, that threw me. But we got there in the end. What's this about? Ben's barn. So this probably was the Thursday before the weekend that she got killed. I'm just thinking because Piper was talking about like cows and stuff. So that was Rebecca's, and hers wasn't drugged. These were. So who was kind of around at 1 a.m.? No, it's not Rebecca. So nothing beyond this is relevant. Rebecca came in at the time she was, well, about a minute before she was in the alley. You know what that is, though? Just sort of thought, that's Ben. Framing her. I think it's just before she arrived. And Ben arrives, 6:49. No, Christine arrives then. And Rebecca, she doesn't have her access card, but that's what she says. Yeah, the 0153, that is Ben, isn't it? 0153 again is Ben. So the thing I'm thinking is, did Rebecca actually go there, and was she involved? Or was it he used her stolen card and then swiped in as himself? But why would he do that? Hang on, let me look at that thing again. Alley by door. I think this is the hint. I think the dog is linking the smell to the farm, which is linked to the cows, which is linked to Ben. So I think the dog is saying Ben was the one with his owner, Christine. I think that's what the dog is doing. It's a bit weird, but I think they're both Ben. I just think he stole her card and her medicine. Her sleeping pills. I don't know why he swiped in twice. I'm not quite clear on that, but I'm pretty sure he did. And Christine arrives. dies. At 9:30, Richard comes to check. He can't see her. He just peers in. And then at 1:53 a.m., that's when Ben leaves. So that kind of contradicts his claim. When does he say that he leaves? So when was his blood, his report? 2:25 a.m. So that's consistent with him leaving at 1:53. So he's kind of, yeah. I mean, he could have staged the attack on himself, is the thing. He's the CFO, so he would have been able to know to do all this stuff. I think he turned up with Christine. I think he used her to access the computer, killed her. Well, they had a fight. Maybe she came to and saw what he was doing, and they fought, and that's how he got injured. We know he's having money troubles. Now the thing is, I want to know how long the pills last for. Because he could have taken them way after the murder. Like as a cover-up. Above? Therapeutic dose range given time elapsed since ingestion. Now that's 0.2, okay, 0.26 milligrams. Two standard tablets, 20 milligrams. So I think that's saying he had a lot more in his bloodstream than you would expect given when he claims to have drunk it. Which kind of makes sense. Like if he's claiming he drank it at 5 and then he got to have his blood test at 2, you wouldn't expect the sleeping drugs to still be quite so strong in his bloodstream. It's got to be Ben. That's everything points me back to Ben causing the death and Ben having the missing money now. So I'm actually gonna. Oh, here we go. Hey. I was just coming out to hit like a submit button or something, but actually it just did it as we went through. Perfect. Naughty old Ben, huh? All right. Prosecution briefing. Alleged timeline. So, 8th of January morning. Rebecca breaks off long-term affair with suspect Ben. In the evening of the 10th of January, Ben goes with Rebecca to a bar, then hotel. Suspect obtains access card and prescription meds from her bag without her knowledge. Ben arrives, so this is on the day of the murder. So at 4:44, Ben arrives at Zuolingo office for a meeting with victim. He swipes her access card, then picks up 3 coffees from Common Grounds Cafe. So I think at that point he must be trying to frame Rebecca for it, right? 5 minutes later, he swipes his own card and enters the office. He adds 2 or more Zolpidem tablets to CP's coffee, Christine arrives within 10 minutes. Around 5 p.m, she drinks the coffee, consuming the Zolpidem. At 5:47, so about 3/4 of an hour later, her pulse drops, indicating heavy sedation. Then at 6:07, wire transfer authorized. 6:12, lighting motion sensor manually disabled. 6:15, Ben holds Christine by the upper arms and pushes her into a desk. The ensuing blunt force trauma causes severe cranial damage and subsequent death. Grabs her and pushes her. Okay. He must be sort of staging a crime scene, I guess. Ben swipes Rebecca's access card but remains inside. He adds 2 or more zolpidem tablets to his own coffee and drinks it. He subsequently falls asleep under the influence. Okay. Yeah, so he did take it later. Early hours of the morning, Ben swipes his access card and leaves the office. Examined at A&E, blood sample taken. At 7:51 a.m, Coralie arrives at Zoolingo office and discovers the body. Then calls emergency services. Evidence and discussion. Enhanced security camera images. The original images were of extremely poor quality. These have been digitally enhanced and now show recognizable features. The images support Ben swiping Rebecca's access card, pristine entry time, and complete absence of Rebecca. Ben appears not to have known about the security camera, which is plausible since it is well hidden. Swipe card logs show that cards belonging to Ben, Christine, and Rebecca were all swiped on 12th of January. These times are consistent with the alleged timeline. Lighting logs. The motion sensor was not triggered at 4:44 when Rebecca's access card was swiped, indicating that nobody... I missed this bit, that nobody entered the office at that time. The motion sensor for the internal office lighting was disabled just before Christine's death, which is consistent with Ben attempting to reduce visibility from outside the offices before the attack. Okay. Smartwatch. The precise timings of Christine's heavy sedation and death are based on pulse data from a move-along smartwatch, yes. Christine's email link and fingerprint were both used for authentication, both of which were available to Ben, since Christine's laptop was currently open and in use. And Ben could plausibly physically manipulate her hand to use her fingerprint given her comatose state. Autopsy wounds. Autopsy wounds suggest Ben intended to harm or kill Christine. Note, false implication of Rebecca. Ben was angry with Rebecca for ending the affair and took the following steps to implicate Rebecca, using her access card so it would appear in the logs, sending an email from Sally to get Rebecca near the scene, BM's description of the figure with a balaclava, Ben buying 3 coffees to support his allegation that Rebecca was expected. Yep, great. Well, I think we all kind of got that, right? There we go. So there he is, smiling for the camera, digitally enhanced. Swipe card logs. Yeah, so we did see those lighting logs. So this was I think it was, yeah, did the absence of the lights clicking on mean that no one was in the office? It was kind of like evidence through not being there, you know. Smartwatch logs we saw, so yeah, I kind of missed that. Oh no, that's different, isn't it? So yeah, that's kind of her normal heart rate, and then she kind of was sedated, and then she was killed. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, sedation and death. Wire transfer, yeah, we got that. Autopsy, got that. Cool. You've done a fantastic job. Not long after I passed your conclusions on to the police, they confirmed there was enough evidence against Ben to charge him for murder and obtaining by deception. He wasn't very good at hiding his digital footprint, so it looks like they'll also be able to trace the missing millions and prove that he sent the email from Sally. 1 case down, and you've already become an integral part of Debenham detection. You've earned the rest of the day off. Tomorrow we'll start on a new case that's just come in. 3 therapy llamas are missing from a local wellness centre under suspicious circumstances. Only 1 llama was left behind. I heard that Omar is going to be the new CEO. Shall we ask him if we can bring in a llama to interrogate using Zoolingo? The end. Thanks for playing. Hooray. Cool. That was an interesting little detective game. Yeah, it all made logical sense. It was all there. It was kind of... it was interesting. You know, we had to do a little bit of sort of code breaking as well at one point, like having to write stuff out. That's always a good sign of a good puzzle game if you're making copious notes on bits of paper. But yeah, no, I think we were able to kind of, make logical leaps in the necessary places to sort of get everyone identified and then reason through the events of the murder. I think other than sort of missing the bit about the lighting not coming on, that would have kind of explained why Rebecca's card was used and then Ben's used within sort of 5 minutes of each other. So yeah, it kind of did feel like it was because he was framing her for it. So yeah, no, awesome. I really enjoyed that. That was good fun. So yeah, if you've enjoyed A Case of Fraud, if you could hit that like button one last time, that'd be awesome. Leave me a comment and let me know. I mean, did you guess all that stuff before me? I mean, I think I was on to Ben fairly early. I just wanted to go through the evidence and make sure I was confident that that was the case fully before kind of committing to it. But I think, yeah, it was quite kind of cool as well. I was sort of seeing like the dog's evidence as well, kind of tying into being near Ben's farm, and then sort of linking the farm stuff with the one who attacked Christina. Yeah, that was kind of all cool. It was kind of all there in different ways, and you could kind of come at it from different angles as well. So I enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts, as I said. And a big thank you as ever to our channel members as well for supporting Boring Dad Gaming. And if anyone else is interested in checking those out and gaining earlier access to the videos I put out, that would be absolutely awesome. Thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.